The life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Sorry about the hair. I haven't done it yet. It's just gotten all messy. Kind of just got everything going today, so I look like a trash can, but it shouldn't matter. My face isn't going to be on stream that much today. So, what we have here today, game number 1, is Boogan Squad versus Save the Murloc. That is how the home team and away team is set up. However, they trolled me a bit today, and I had to swap sides, so it will actually be Save the Murloc on the left-hand side in the blue, and Boogan Squad in the red. It might keep swapping back and forth depending on how many maps there are. I don't really know. The way that the documents are set up, I only know we have game 1. So we'll either have game 2 and game 3, and it's going to be a surprise to me. Today's going to be a bit of a marathon. I'm doing 3 replay casts. Now, replay casts are pretty simple overall. But if any representatives from the teams can link me what the map bans and picks were for each game in the chat. Don't do each game all at once, because I don't want to ruin some of the mystique or atmosphere by kind of giving away how many games were played. Obviously, there's a minimum of 2, but I'll update it if you guys can just post that in the chat for me, or send me DMs. In fact, someone can even send me the DMs privately in Discord with that information. And Bancho, Woodley can do the same thing. Yeah, I think that's correct. So that's going to be the 3 matches we have today, which is going to be Boogan Squad versus Save the Murloc, Bancho versus Wood League, and then the last game, D West, Backbone CS versus Disturbance. I will probably be stopping each stream after I am done with each match temporarily for a small period of time, so I can update the stream information, close it down, start it back up again, and then that makes it easier for me to export the videos after the fact. If the stream goes down, don't worry about it. It's going to be back up probably 5 to 10 minutes after the fact. I'm already in game and ready to go. We are going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity. Did updates. Obviously, I don't know what the bans or picks were. I don't know who had won the coin toss or any of that information, so we're just kind of going by the seat of the pants. So without too much more further ado, I have everybody set up now, and I should be able to get us right into the game. The good thing about replay casts is, without all that other stuff, they tend to go pretty fast, outside of obviously me taking 10 minutes in the wait stream, setting everything up. And of course, there's a long and inflated conversation that I'm having with you. So let's pop into the game. And let's press play. I'm gonna bring up we can skip game. Of course you say that. Don't give anything away. Here we are in the blue. We have Save the Murloc, Balar on the Alarak, Sean WL on Johanna, Shaggy playing Chen, Podium Reigns on the Rhaegar, Apollo 145 playing Vola. On the right-hand side, we have Boogan Squad, Michael on the Diablo, Mantis on the Jaina, Camp Bellis on the Rainer, Tom Peace on the Stukov, and Bummernot on the Rexar. And obviously I made a mistake. We're on Infernal Shrines, not Battlefield of Trinity. So that's incorrect. Whatever. Like, I guess I just saw Diablo theme and made an assumption. My bad. Oh. Bad. Okay. So I will get my camera work under. I need to pause for half a second. I don't think there's any game sound coming through. So let me try to fix that here. There we go. That should solve it. Oh, wait. You know what? Probably not going to be loud enough. Hopefully that'll be better. If you guys aren't hearing any game sound, I can fix the problem. I'll know what it is. Just let me know. See, standard 4-1 rotation from Boogan squad. They haven't fallen behind in any minion so far. And Save the Murloc just doing a kind of safe 1-3-1. We're going to see camps beginning to be traded out between the two teams. We're going to watch these walk slowly into lane now. I'm just kidding. We're going to see a quick bottom rotation by Save the Murloc here to grab that camp, while Boogan squad pushes with 3. Kaiser camps did get upgraded recently in the last patch, so they do more damage now, siege damage, than siege giants. And given the fact that there's 3 of them, they remain a bigger threat in the lane from a single target perspective, though they are easier to AoE down. Or just as easy. So when pushed in, they can get some significant work done. If left up, they can do quite a bit of work because they can kill lanes faster. They are definitely a bigger threat than they used to be. Everyone used to get the Kaiser camps anyways for the early EXP. But now they actually can't just be flat ignored. They have to be contested. They have to be dealt with if in the lane. Still not as powerful as a free pushing bruiser on this map. Let me know if you can now. Should be fixed. Didn't want to wear my headset today. You're going to see an engagement coming on to Mantis. Quite a bit of pressure coming out from Vala, Rhaegar, and Johanna are going to get the pick off. Stukov unable to keep her alive. And given the speed of the clear here with the Rhaegar, Vala, Chen, even Alarak for that matter, we're going to have 20 stacks before it actually comes through. So now that we got sound, everybody's happy. Let's scroll through some of the damage numbers, because that's what we're all here for, stacking the numbers. And I know it's early enough in the afternoon, despite being on the weekend. It's also sharing airtime with Bahamut's stream on Division S. I totally understand if people would rather watch those games than come spend their time here with me on the stream. But these will be VODs, so they will be VODs on YouTube and on this channel, so feel free to swing by and grab it. We're going to see a good engagement coming from the Punisher right on top of the Rainer. He doesn't manage to actually get away. And that's going to be a pretty good start for Save the Murloc. They're actually a full level ahead with the upper structure. Another number 7 seed taking it to the number 4 really well in game number 1. We see engagement or an invasion from Save the Murloc onto Boogan Squad's side, but a full 5-man rotation is going to discourage any further attempt there, and they'll secure the camp for themselves. Chen is getting some free experience in the top lane, trying to squeak ever bit closer to that level 10 power spike and get it soon enough to maybe take an engagement off of it. Mantis getting rotated on here, but no really hard lockdown, so I was able to get behind the wall without much of a problem there. Bottom camp appears to be what's going to be contested. We do have Chen in the mid lane, which means a quicker rotation and 10s for Save the Murloc, and I don't think that Boogan Squad really wants to contest for a Khazar camp down level 10s. They need to get their own heroics in place. Pop back over to the town screen. We can see what's going on. Hindered motion. So Alarak actually going for the slow, which is an interesting approach. Applied Force is generally considered the stronger talent at that tier, but I can definitely see the arguments for it. It's not like it doesn't make sense to me. And we're going to see an engagement here through this chokehold onto the Diablo. Thought he was making a safe rotation, but instead gets defeated. And that's Save the Murloc, propelling themselves even further ahead. You can definitely see some of the effect of that 25% slow. But anyways, we do have level 10s on both sides now available. Save the Murloc is running Counter-Strike, Rain of Vengeance, Ancestral Healing, Blessed Shield, and Storm, Earth, and Fire. Boogan Squad is running Massive Shove, Bestial Wrath, Lightning Breath, Rainer's Raider, and Water Elemental. Alarak doing a pretty good job in soaking. Is actually hard out soaking Rexar, and so is Chen for that matter. So we have actually two members of Save the Murloc doing a pretty damn good job staying ahead in that experience soak. We can see another main engagement here now with full heroics. We see Lightning Breath going out from Diablo, but it doesn't manage to secure any kills. Storm, Earth, and Fire being popped. Misha goes down. The pressure now coming in from the Chen onto the backline. But they do manage to retreat behind their wall, so nothing is going to come any further out of that. But with that kill on Diablo and the Misha, we can see Save the Murloc get a significant advantage here on the Shrine. We did get the auto attack build from Vala, which I always feel is a very risk-reward style, but I can't argue it did not get somewhat buffed here due to the last patch, so not a bad choice. But as expected, I didn't know that. Thank you. Fantastic. Arrow coming in with the Galaxy Brain strategies, and this is a Frozen Punisher, and generally these guarantee forts at the least. Generally not keeps at this stage in the game, but definitely forts. And we're actually going to see, I think they could have definitely gotten more out of that. This front wall could have gone down with this level of Punisher, no problem. Alarak was already split in the top lane, but so is Rexar. So I really think, and it seems to be interesting that we're sticking Alarak up here instead of the Chen. Apparently the matchup appears to be favorable for Alarak in this situation, rather than having the Chen split. You have a bit more beef, a little bit more backline dive, a little bit more space giving, I guess, for the Vala. But I will say, like, Alarak definitely can just, he can force engagements wherever you want. With a good pull and silence combo. So Khazar in the bottom, it's going to push up against that keep wall if not dealt with. But we also have a Khazar in the mid, and we can see, like, how quickly this thing can just murder structures. Like, if they're allowed to just sit there and wail, they just destroy things. Look how fast that goes down. That was just pretty much Khazar damage in Chen. Which is quite significant amount. We do see Jaina making the rotation down to the bot lane. Clear out this camp, and we might see a bit of engagement here. Misha goes down. Michael stepping up, but realizing that he doesn't want to be standing there, and we can see these Khazar actually in the mid lane is getting some absolute fantastic value. See the Murloc doing a wonderful job of just zoning out Boogan squad, not allowing them to get up into defense, and there goes Diablo with Chen making a quick Storm Earth and Fire just to survive. Diablo goes down again. We have 15s to 13s now, but there can't really be any forced engagements from Boogan squad at this moment. Due to him dying there, and so 16s are probably going to be in place well before Boogan squad can do anything. They just need to be in all three lanes soaking. At this point, you have to realize that you're not going to find that fight you need. And if you just split to all three, three lanes, safe the mid, get the top, get the bottom, get those lanes soaked up, this gap becomes a lot, quick. This is a very risky play. They have 16s. Quellar is already set up on this. And they're just going to get engaged upon, and that's going to be a dead Stukov, a dead Misha. Blessed Shield comes out. That's going to kill Rexar fully. Jaina was split. They went for a camp. I know you want to remove it off of the playing field so that they don't get any value, but this just pushes up the wave onto your fort, or your keep walls. Nice pull coming up from Quellar, getting a bunch of damage on Campbellis. And then you can just kind of safe soak this. You have to acquiesce the objective, and now definitely so, because you weren't able to get the soak you needed to catch up. And so now you have to do the soak. If you go in on this engagement 17 to 14, it's never gonna be good. Down a Palantir and 3 levels. That's a lot of scaling and a lot of and a Palantir and 16 power spike for that matter. So we do concede the objective, which I think is the only play. Chen did get, but we see an engagement coming in down here in this area, and Chen is just holding them down for Alarak to get the rotation in, and they get the pull in, and that's 2 kills. And this actually makes this defense that much more frightening, as now you don't have Rexar or Jaina to burn down this Punisher. It's an arcane Punisher. So something that pretty much guaranteed keep could very well threaten core, especially if they get another kill off this push. I think Save the Murloc's going to back out, but no, it looks like they are posturing up for a core call here. Now, the full defense is up. Punisher gets a leap. We get a pull in onto the Diablo. He gets silenced, takes a lot of damage. We see a counter silence coming out from Stukov. Pressure being applied, but look how much damage. You have the catapults, you have Khazar camps, you've got all of this stuff. That's going to be game number 1. All the GGs are going to come out. I don't think the chat... Okay, it is going to disappear. Let's wait for it to disappear. Then I'll bring up the endgame stats for everyone to look at. And yeah, that was definitely a rough game number 1 for Boogan squad. They just weren't able to find any kills. And the map snowballed against them. You know, the highest damage dealer was Raynor at 20,000, which was about half of Alderac's total damage. So definitely not a good opening run for Boogan squad, but hey, there are more games. So I will pop us to a "We'll Be Back" screen while I set up the next match, and that's it. We'll be right back. Alright, again, here we are for game number 2. It will be Sky Temple. So it was Infernal Shrines last time. Save the Murloc got the win. We'll be going to Sky Temple for game number 2. And without further ado, let's get into the game.
I would prepare.
Alrighty, on the left-hand side, again, we have Save the Murloc in the blue, Apollo 145 on the Jaina, Odium Reigns on the Rhaegar, Shaggy playing Abathur, Seanwell on the Muradin, and Illidan is played by Quaylar. Looking for the equalizer, we have Boogan squad, Tom Peace on the Anna, Michael on the Leoric, Camp Bellas on the Tychus, Mantis playing Orphea, Bummerna on the ETC. Everyone's just posturing around. We do see a little bit of bottom cheese coming out from the side of Save the Murloc. Looks like they might get caught out here. Odium Reigns, I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. Good sleep, but he does manage to squeak on by. There wasn't any follow-up burst damage to the sleep. Gets out scot-free. Abathur is going to be body soaking the mid lane, which is a bit of risky, as if there was a full rotation there, he could be in big trouble. Does have mines everywhere, he is trying to keep an eye out, but he only mined this side, so if they actually came up through this side, he could be in trouble. You see Murray getting up in the face of ETC. He is going to take a fair amount of damage from the Orpheotychus and might not be able to get out. He does squeak away with 300 health. A second attempted, but no bueno kill attempts from Boogan squad. Illidan, depending on how much Abathur had he gets, is probably just going to body this lane. Not getting another big engagement onto the Murloc. Abathur comes in to keep him alive, and he squeaks away again. Man, this got to get so frustrating after a period of time. But even just putting the pressure in is pretty good. Both Odium Reigns and Apollo 145 are actually quite low on mana, and we're going to see a quick rotation onto the camps by Boogan squad right here. But that rotation will be matched by Save the Murloc. Bottom lane's going to start pushing up. There's a little bit of an advantage in clear, but as this gets closer to the towers, the more the opposite Giants are going to do. But Orphea making a good play, stepping up to get some damage in. Jane is going to drop a blizzard onto it, and I think both these camps are going to get more or less neutralized right here and now. Save the Murloc's going to keep theirs up. Leoric's going to come over for, I would say, a pretty risky maneuver. If he actually, it looks like he was just scouting it out. If he went in there, it could have gotten pretty bad for him. Leoric, though, does get engaged upon by Jaina and Muradin. There's going to be counter engage coming out, though, from the 4-man. But Muradin's just going to walk away. And we do have a camp pushing into the top lane. Illidan uncontested. He's going to have Abathur had if this isn't responded too quickly. In fact, he's not even going to bother pushing down the structures, which makes sense. He needs to get that trade in. We're going to see Leoric make the rotation up into the top lane to push away. We have Abathur body soaking in the bot lane. And wave clearing happening from Save the Murloc in the mid lane. This is the power of Abathur on this map. As objectives are up, he gets body soak. And he can clone to help secure them. Leoric does get picked off by Illidan here with an Abathur hat in the mid lane, so a little bit of a channel coming in from Save the Murloc, but instead sees a low health Leoric, pops in and gets a kill. You're going to see Camp Bellas put a lot of pressure on Muradin, and when Muradin actually goes for it, well timed by Bummernot, lands a slide, gets the kill. So we're actually going to trade out 1-for-1 in the opening stages of this game. But admittedly, I would say Illidan got significantly more value in the top lane. But he might not get the full channel, but if he still gets the fort, they're still ahead. So even if they lose the last few shots here, Save the Murloc still a slight advantage in the early game. And you kind of want those advantages in the early game with Abathur.
The magic of the temple sleeps until I choose otherwise.
We're going to see even all of the damage done to the mid fort here going to be healed up by Mule. Yet another tactic of the Abathur composition that gets kind of hard to deal with. Especially Mule gets ridiculous value on this map as structure health more than any other map is your major lifeline. Asa, go play with Devin. I'm recording. Okay. I don't care. You need to keep him busy. You're interrupting my cast. Anyways, sorry about that, guys. We can see the initial engagement coming onto Bummerknot. He actually gets chunked down pretty hard in this 3v4 in the bot lane. Illidan in top, just continuing to push out the lane. He's not going to be pushing onto structures, though, as that fort is gone.
Soon they shall bask in my glory.
And now we're posturing up for the bot shrine, but Boogan squad is behind in experience. And level 10s is a pretty scary time to be fighting into Save the Murloc, especially without your level 10s. But Illidan getting picked off in the mid lane is going to help out quite a bit. In fact, it will propel them into a much closer position when considering the talent tiers. And the fact that the bottom has not been channeled at all means that 10s are going to come into play for Boogan squad. And without Illidan, Save the Murloc isn't going to be feeling too confident walking into this shrine. So we're actually going to get the first bit of channel by Boogan squad. And that'll help them get some good structure damage early part of the game. Seeing Mule come down, but a little too late. I wouldn't really bother wasting the Mule on the fort, on the towers. Like, it's just not going to really work out. We see Save the Murloc make an rotation to the opposing side Bruiser. And that could be a real threat here if they 4-man kind of push in this top lane with an Abathur hat. I would prefer if Illidan even just doesn't even need to sit down here. If he just pushed 5-man top right here, this could be a keep. And it might still very well be, but here's the thing. We're cloning Rhaegars. And cloning Illidan's would almost guarantee this keep. The rotation does finally come in. The bottom shrine was not completely channeled, so it looks like Save the Murloc is going to be able to come in here and grab this. But yeah, I really think that Save the Murloc could have gotten a heck of a lot more damage done there had they taken an Illidan to the top lane. Just 5-manned it. We really want to see Boogan squad make a bot rotation here and deal with this fort. It's just going to get healed up by Mule, and it looks like that is going to be the general plan here. They're going to clear up the wave. It's super low, so they really just got to put a significant amount of damage onto it in a short period of time. But it does set up an engagement onto the backline, and Tychus is just sitting there doing all the damage, but we do see a nice mosh pit into an Eternal Feast. That's going to kill the clone. It's going to kill the Muradin, and Illidan is sort of on an island here. He's doing his best to heal back up and actually doing a pretty good job of it. I wonder if his other teammates stepped up there. It might have looked a little bit different. A nice heal from Rhaegar plus some extra damage from Jaina might have got a long way. The other camp, though, manages to get up here, and so despite getting a 2-for-1, which was still a very good engagement for Boogan squad, that's a lot of pressure being applied to this top lane. And Keep is going to take a bit more damage. I don't think it's going to go down here. In the meantime, Boogan's going to go for the bottom 2 giant camps. And that's kind of the counter that you can play towards this Abathur comp. They might be focusing down this top lane pretty hard. But boss control, if you get a kill or you take out clone or anything like that, you'll actually have better boss control. Especially with Entomb and Eternal Feast. Both things quite difficult to fight into. You're going to see a bit of posturing happening here in the mid lane from both sides. I think Leoric is clearing out the top lane, trying to relieve the pressure that has been applied to that top lane. Or if you're pinging Eternal Feast is ready to go. We see Clone already and on Muradin. Kind of an odd choice of use here by Save the Murloc. As soon as this clone goes down, that's a more or less a 4v4, and with the Leoric rotation, which is what we're getting right now, they're actually going to be outnumbered now. Yorick looking for the Entomb, lands it onto the Jaina. Jaina's going to do a counter Ring of Frost, but it's going to not get enough damage to discourage any further deaths. And Illidan as well is going to get picked off, so this is a good rotation by Boogan Squad. And with this channel, they're just going to complete this, and this is the thing. They actually get a rotation to the top lane. ETC and Leoric really just need to stall this out long enough for their DPS to show up. And then they're also going to be able to secure this objective. And getting both objectives on a 2-objective phase is extremely, extremely valuable. Leoric dropping another Entomb. There's no one there for follow-up, and it was on a Muradin who can jump, so we see the hunt come out immediately onto the Ana. But then we got a really good power slide plus Mosh Pit. That's going to kill the Illidan. Cleanse on Jaina got her out, but the Illidan definitely went down. And now they really can't fight this second shrine. And it's probably going to take out the top fort, as there's still half a channel left and no wall. So Save the Murloc going to have to do their best to see if they can find advantages elsewhere on the map. Boogan Squad really getting a lot of value out of these Mosh Pit Eternal Feast combos. And Leoric's Entombs are guaranteeing good engagements outside of the one on the Muradin, which was a little odd. Level 20, that's a perfectly viable target. Pre-level 20, it's not going to do anything. They can just hop out. And it's a Muradin, even if you're dumping all your damage into him. If he has Avatar, he's probably going to live through it. So camps traded out. Illidan looking to see if they can get their bruiser camp pushing up. But with all the front forts gone, Abathur has to play back. He can't sit up for soak. It's so as long as it remains in the middle of the map, Abathur's going to struggle in getting that split soak. And as we can actually see, Leoric is currently ahead in the EXP. Boogan Squad making an interesting play here. They're just going to bait the boss. If they stay off the map long enough, they're actually going to bring Save the Murloc into them by actually starting the boss. Now this is a bit of a risky play. Entomb does go down to cut off kind of engagement, but we can see the front line getting super low. We do get a kill onto the Muradin. Eternal Feast getting a lot of work done. That Mosh Pit was risky. It did land on 2 very good targets. And we've kind of traded 3 for 2. And with an Abathur comp that's really just now it's just a 3v1. Rhaegar isn't going to be able to do anything, so he's just going to rotate top. And this boss is almost assuredly going to Boogan Squad. York getting his trait value. He's going to go top, clear up that lane. Meanwhile, Rhaegar's in the top, getting a full channel. They still don't have ETC, but this 3-man plus Giants plus a boss is definitely a significant threat to this keep. Now, when Illidan and Jaina are up, they're going to have to be careful because they do not have the power slide clear. And this camp actually secures the top keep, which is a really good turn or Save the Murloc. And I don't think that this boss is going to get the keep. But they also do have a full objective in the top lane, and that's going to put pressure onto the top keep wall, if not put pressure onto the keep itself. And it's still a 4 structures to 3 situation. Odin's gonna come down nice and tomb onto, again, Muradin, and this is kind of what I was talking about. He's just gonna avatar his way out of it. They're gonna get the kill onto Orphea, but Illidan actually does go down from the combined pressure of Boogan squad. Ancestral was not able to land on him, and I think that was a bit of a misplay. That stun was fantastic. The mosh pit actually lands onto one target, or two, yeah, onto Muradin, because the cleanse came out onto Jaina, but Jaina unfortunately did not walk straight out of the mosh pit and kind of microed back into it and got hit by the remaining mosh pit. How's it going, Valk? One of my resident subs coming in, dropping the memes. I love it. Keep them coming. Even I believe, but we have to admit, C-West is a tough division. So the macro just coming out, and we can see the pressure in the top and the bot, but there is one saving grace for Save the Murloc in this situation, and that is Mule. Let's go check out the level 20 talents we have both sides. Evolutionary Link, Farseer's Blessing, Nexus Blades, Ice Blink, and Unstoppable Force. We're going to see, I think, an invade coming out here from Boogan Squad onto the opponent's side of the map. Nano Infusion, Death Metal, Sizzling Attacks. I did not see that kill on Muradin. Must have happened right here when he was poking out. I almost feel like rewinding it, but I think that destroys the atmosphere. So we're just going to roll with it and say, hey, unfortunately, what a good play. I'm sorry I missed it. Well done on the kill, guys. Now, Muradin's got to be worried. Sizzling Attacks actually does a lot of damage. Because now it's basically giving you minigun stacks on your regular basic attack. And so Tychus was able to just burn that Muradin down. And Avatar just doesn't matter when you have percentage hit damage. We see a lot of pressure coming onto Leoric, but he's just going to get healed up. E through, stop some of the damage coming out. We see the clone on Jaina, and Jaina silence Entomb, trying to peel himself out a bit. Pulls them into the camp that's pushing out though, so that's going to give them spell armor. Orphea going for the combo, doesn't manage to land anything. And objectives are up. So now we're even out in keep structures, which means now we have a significant advantage for Boogan Squad on the map here. Is it got a free keep out of that top lane. And if the keep's dead, the Mule is not going to heal it up. So again, we're seeing this pressure onto Leoric, and Leoric's biggest problem here actually is the fact that he has no mana. He's going to tap though to try to solve that exact issue, and this is exactly it. If they trade out, Save the Murloc inherently loses. As Boogan Squad has such a significant structure advantage, for the time being at least, that an even trade in shots will mean they take keeps, while Save the Murloc does not.
Blue team has crushed the foe. Red team has crushed the foe.
I know, all we've got is garbage emojis at this moment, Valkymer. Me and my wife need to have some time to sit down to do it. We've just been busy with the last couple days. I will try to get it done sometime this next week, but it's going to be tough because there's lots of casts, lots of games. I have 2 matches this next week, and who cares? We're in the middle of a fight. Ring of Frost goes down, doesn't manage to secure any kills. But Apollo is completely split from the rest of the team, and that is going to probably be a kill. I don't think he can stall this out for forever. Although there's lots of slows, and he's doing a pretty good job kiting this. If they land asleep, In fact, Muradin and Rhaegar are going to come and reinforce, and now the gank attempt is unlikely. But with the kill on Illidan, we do have the option to get the boss. Michael having to back, though. He is super low on mana. Muradin just sitting in here, sentineling away, worried about another boss push. But we saw him get picked off before. Doesn't seem to be wanting that to happen this time, so he's going to back away. And are we going to see the boss attempt? Nice entomb into double silence into mosh pit on 3. That's going to secure 2 kills right off the bat. Both Illidan and Muradin are gone. No frontline remaining. Apollo is now in a terrible spot. Ancestral does come out. But it's not going to matter. Despite the Ring of Frost, there's no follow-up that's going to be dead Jaina. And I think the writing is on the wall for Save the Murloc here. And Boogan squad looks like to be coming in here and winning map number 2 and sending this to a game number 3. And I think that's what we all come here for. So, nice recovery into a tough composition, which is Abathur. I think running solo Jaina's with Abathur is always a bit of a scary prospect in some situations. It can work out really well, and was working for a good portion of the time for saving Murloc. But as the game went on, they just got way behind in structures, and they couldn't make anything else happen on the map. And a lot of staggered deaths and dead Jainas. I'm going to bring up the stats here for you guys. And that's 6 deaths on Illidan, or on Muradin, and 8 deaths on Illidan. And I think that is the overall reason why Boogan squad was able to come back in this game. Just the front line getting destroyed time and time again by the Tychus, by the Orphea. But really, it was those power slide into mosh pits, into Eternal Feasts, or even the Leoric and Tombs were fantastic. Like, they were all kind of snowballed into the same result, which is the win. Pop up the talents for everybody to take one good look at for half a second here, and then we will pop it to a break while I set up for the next game. Welcome back. We're getting into game number 3 between Save the Murloc and Boogan Squad. It's reversed, but we're on the blue and red opposite sides, so. Oh well, that's how we're working for it. Save the Murloc managed to get game number 1 with no deaths. However, game number 2 is a completely different story, and Boogan Squad securing that victory. We will be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 3. And let's just get into it.
Prepare yourselves. The battle begins shortly.
On the left-hand side, Save the Murloc in the blue, Quaylar and Azmodan, ETC is Sean WL, Apollo 145 on the Vala, Shaggy playing Stukov, and Odium Reigns playing the Zool.
In 10 seconds.
On the other side of the map, we have Boogan Squad coming off a hot victory in game number 2. Tom Peace on the Alexstrasza, Camp Bellis on the Tychus yet again. Michael also on the Lyric again. We have Bummernut on a Nubarak, and Mantis is playing Kael'thas. Pretty standard talents for the level 1s. Looks like we're gonna go for the Q build. Alexstrasza. Monster Hunter being the choice by Fala in this game. Helps with the shrine clear, or the web weaver clearing. Good for killing camps, good for boss burn. Not a bad choice. Michael getting a nice 2-man slow on his Q, but does get collapsed upon by 3, and he doesn't have any follow-up damage, so no kills happening there. Bummernut's gonna rejoin the 4-man, and they're gonna see if they can continue to keep up with the Zool double clear. In the meantime, Steve the Murloc is going to go for this bottom camp, pretty much uncontested. I think they sniffed something out here on the side of Boogan Squad, but the rotation was too slow. And the Orc is being left to try to counter soak versus Zool until he gets his level 4 Neil Peasants. He's really going to struggle to do that. And Zool might even be able to box him out of some experience. In fact, Leoric looks like to be pressuring Zool, which I generally don't think is a bad idea, but you have to be able to match the wave clear or kill him outright quickly. And frankly, Leoric does neither one of those things. At least not until level 4, and not until he gets certain talents later on. He could take the damage bonus at the end of his W, and I think that helps him trade into Zool pretty good. With the wave cleared, we're going to see a 4-man rotate. And they might even just start trying to rotate between mid-bot. Azmodan's going to take a little while to get online, but he already has 2 minutes and 39 seconds into the game. He has 60 stacks, which I think is pretty significant. That's where you want to be. Is this more or less his best map? And it's super heavy macro. I mean, Zool Azmodan is about as macro as it gets. You know, and if Zool and Azmodan just paired together, and Azmodan just looked to Q weakened waves by Zool, he would get stacked so fast. It's really just a lot of wave clearing, although there's been 2 sneaky turn-ins from each team, actually. But it looks like they might have zoned out enough in the top lane to get the first channel in. And that's what we're going to get. Save the Murloc will get the first channel. And Asmodan is really close to 100 stacks. Slowed down a little bit, so I still think it's going to be another 5 minutes before he can clutch out the first quest completion, which is average. We're going to see the 4-man focus into top lane. Zool is going to clear out the bot lane and rotate to mid. It looks like Boogan Squad's just going to get the mid clear out of the way first. Zool's going to stay in the bottom so he can push up. Leoric is going to start pressuring him a little bit harder, and Zool can't kill the Leo. That's for certain. Leo's just going to live through that. But top lane does get quite a bit of pressure, but really not as much as you'd hope to get, I think. The mid lane is still pushing up onto these structures. They might be able to get a second front wall. Depends on quick the rotation, and it looks like it is. It looks like they're going to get 2 front walls out of this, which is not bad. Like, that's it's decent. Almost a 3rd front wall as well. You generally want to get some fort structure damage done, but sometimes it's pretty hard. Leo's good clear in the bottom lane. Kael'thas is good safe poke damage that allows him to clear up waves really quickly. I'm just full of yawns today, guys. So Zool's gonna start clearing this out. It's not gonna be the fastest clear, but he's not terrible at it. And that's gonna be first turn in for Boogan Squad. Now they are gonna notice that this is being taken down here, but it looks like Leoric is already getting ganked and the defense squad is in place. Leoric, again, hard character to gank. Especially with these heroes at the current power levels. It's definitely difficult to secure those kills there. They do have the burst damage build from Valis. That does help. And so first Webweaver in the bottom lane is going to be mostly cleared out. And then there'll be some counter push coming out from the Giants. But I think this is a bit of an overcommitment into the bot lane. And it's going to give this 4-man in the top lane quite a bit of time to get siege structure in. They're not only going to get the front wall, they're also going to get the well. And probably some additional damage onto the fort. They're going to back out, though. The rotation is coming in, so it does look like just some minor damage to the fort. And most of the front wall. The front wall. Front wall. No front wall. Total front wall and a little bit of damage on the fort. I would say each phase was pretty even overall. Probably experience-wise. Oh, Tychus getting rotated on here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out. The slow does miss. Silence comes into place. The Q comes in. ETC dives really hard, but now they're overextended. ETC is going to have to find his way out. The Entomb does come out, but it doesn't land on anyone, so no extra pressure going to be applied there. Zool is going to just put some pressure into the bot lane instead. And that's going to help get some structure or damage there. But we do see a nice engagement. Huge, massive shove onto Leoric into the base. The massive shove, though, was kind of a desperation move as Skuzukov was caught out of position. And so further self-roots him for that stun. Leoric just kind of walks out of it. And that's going to be first blood going to Boogan Squad. Bot Fort did take quite a bit of pressure from Zool, though. And we finally have the 200 stacks at 8 minutes, so a bit above average for Qualar. Getting some good value on that Asmodan. And now those Qs, especially with Tide of Sin, is going to really start hurting quite a bit on the backline targets. We see a 5-man posture from Boogan Squad. Nice and early. Entomb onto Vala. We're going to see the follow-up stun come out. It doesn't land on the Vala, but the Cocoon does go down. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't land on the Vala because they're still going to get the kill anyways. And that's a good turn for Boogan Squad here. It's going to give them a slight advantage. They're still trying to be a bit aggro here. Odin shelling away. But they're going to need to back up, and I think that Leoric was caught out of position. The counter engagement coming through. We see a two-man mosh pit onto Leoric and onto ETC, or onto Nubrek. And that was, sorry, Kale Thoughts that got picked off originally. My bad. And losing 2 heroes there is kind of rough. 3 heroes there, so 3 for 1. But they did have web weavers going, so mid fort's almost gone. Top fort's completely gone. And that's still a decent second web weaver phase. Often you want to get maybe a bit more, but I would say considering the fact that they lost 3 heroes, it actually overall was pretty good. And that mid fort is basically paper. It's just going to die to a couple volleys of ranged minions on it. We see the engagement coming in from Boogan squad. There goes an Asmo Q, but it doesn't land on anyone. They dodge it. Now, one of the major problems I see for Boogan squad in this stage of the game right now is they're down 13. They do not have any further turn-ins, and that's kind of the big issue with not getting a bit more out of the structures and stuff like that. With that last web weaver phase, is that it didn't put them far enough ahead, and now they have to basically grind out gems for the next few minutes here, albeit if they get a team fight and get a kill, boss is available, top fort is down, so that could definitely threaten keep. And I'm thinking that's what you kind of want to look for here if you're Boogan squad, but not until you're 13. See if you can find a fight, stall out the turn in, get a kill. And if they can get a good engagement, and they do right here on 2 targets with a huge entomb, follow-up stun, nice massive shove, but Apollo still eating a lot of pressure, does manage to get out. So those heroics haven't turned into anything, but to be fair, they still have Pyroblast, which is still available. It goes right onto ETC. He lands on 2 on Mosh Pit, but because Pyroblast went out, ETC actually didn't manage to get anything. They did get the turn in from Save the Murloc, but that's a dead ETC, so it's going to be actually really tough for them to push up. Cleansing Flame is still available. We do have Massive Shove and Poison Nova available from Zool. Titusson is a short cooldown, so it's generally available at most times. My chat died. No one's talking. And that turn-in didn't get anything done. And now we're basically even when it comes to the gems. And that's not a good thing for Save the Murloc. That actually puts Boogan squad, actually, I would say, slightly ahead, as they have 2 forts down already. And are closer to the next turn-in. Not by a lot. It's only a few gems. But they are still ahead in that sense. Engagement coming into ETC, but there's no follow-up ready to put damage on them. They're just going to safe clear this camp. And we're going to probably see both sides pop back to get their bruiser. I would definitely be soaking a bit more if I were Boogan squad. Mid and top lanes, those are free gems just kind of sitting there for you. And you are still behind half a level in experience, so soak is more important than ever. Leo's going to land his W and walk out pretty easy. Tychus is clearing up the bottom lane. They're trying to catch back up, but 16s are definitely going to be in place well before from Save the Murloc. And that's going to be a risky time to actually go in for any type of engagement. So it looks like they're trying to open up on our target prior to that. Entomb was available, might have actually come out onto Asmodan there. They do zone him out. And the turn-in attempt is beginning. They're still 5 gems short, though. And they won't have 16 yet, but they have pretty much evened up the experience, though. As Save the Murloc, just like Boogan Squad, wasn't really doing a good job pushing to that 16 to try to get a bit of a lead there. We do see quite a bit of pressure coming onto Leoric, but it is actually ETC with the silence pool that goes down. Cocoon onto Asmodan. We're going to pop Odin on Tychus. And now Quailar's getting pressure pretty hard. Odium Reigns has no health. He's going to die. And I think Asmodan might just make it. No, he does actually get picked off, it looks like. I don't think he's going to be able to live. Yeah, that's going to be the kill. And there's no one here to save these gems. And I think more than anything, this is where the advantage from Boogan Squad really comes into play, as they were able to get three kills, but more than that, they were able to get turn in on the back of Save the Murloc losing almost all of their gems. And that means even if they manage a good defense here, they do not have a guaranteed Web Wave Weaver to respond with. And we're going to see the top lane already taking significant amount of siege damage from Boogan Squad. A good entomb onto Zul is going to hold him in place. He's going to get stunned, locked, and dead. And this kill turns things into a keep, maybe double keep play to potential core. This Web Weaver is extremely healthy. Zul is dead. It means a cocoon plus engagement from Boogan Squad could mean the end of the game right here and now. And we can see them posturing up for this push. Now, the Web Weaver is really low. I don't think they're going to be able to actually pull off a victory here. But getting the first keep of the game, skyrocketing ahead in experience by one full level. Bot fort is cleared out, and now there's a even bigger structural lead.
My web weavers have fallen. Gather gems if you wish to be spared.
Leor clearing out the mid lane, kind of a risky spot, but it is Leo, so he's just going to nope out. And Save the Murloc correctly guesses that boss is being done here. Now this could be a throw pit, but a good peel from Kael'thas, plus that follow-up Entomb guarantees the kill onto Vala. A two-man mosh pit, but there's all of the teams been completely zoned out by that Kael'thas damage plus Leoric. And that's a 2-for-0. Now it's basically a free boss. We are chasing though, as Zul is quite low. And they might get a pick off on him. Yep, he's gonna go down. And I think Boogan Squad figures with those 3 kills there and 15 seconds still left on Vala coming back up, that there's just not enough tools in the toolkit for Save the Murloc to really stop this from pushing in. They do knock Kael'thas back, which is a significant amount of siege damage, so that delay tactic might just have been enough to stall this game out a bit further. Kael'thas does go down, and we can see the calls being made right now. Almost a bit of a throw there, you could say. I think if they just went for boss, that would have been even more guaranteed of a win. As they'd still be dealing with boss. They got 60% with what they had right then and there. I think the boss would probably have ended the game. But now there is no boss call. 2 for 1 though. Vala is still dead. So she's going to be coming up. And I think we're going to see a counter boss play, as that's all that's left on the map right now. No one has gems. We're going to have 20s though from Boogan Squad. So they're really going to have to make this quick, and I'm kind of afraid for Save the Murloc here, because without Vala, I don't think they really have the best chance to kill this boss before getting engaged on. We can see the front line posturing up here, and Save the Murloc realizes, but it's a level 20 Silent Entomb onto the back line. Zul gets cocooned, and they're going to continue to put the pressure onto Shaggy. He's actually very low. Self-roots himself. Odin's going to get the kill. Zul is going to be coming back, or is back up now, and walks away. But now it's ETC, and I think with those 2 kills, we're going to try attempt number 2. Murloc doing his best to try to get out of here. The stun comes down. I don't think he's going to live. It's either him or Odium Reigns, one of the two. Murloc gets out. But that's a third staggered death. I think this is going to be GG. And yeah. Yeah, that boss attempt, the counter boss attempt without Vala was a bit risky. 20's coming in. Pretty much secured the victory. And that's going to begin. Pop back over to the stats screen. Azmodan did the damage. He did do things. But as I've noted before in the past with Azmodan, just because he does things, just because the stat numbers are high, doesn't necessarily mean he's a good hero. And he just didn't have enough time, space to really get the build online to start nuking backline targets. And when you've got things like Kael'thas and Tychus, they're hard to kill. Both of those heroes have lots of defensive capabilities that keep them alive quite well. And I think it's just hard. So despite the fact that Azmodan was doing the damage, it's on just a couple backline targets that don't really care, as they've got the defensive tools to deal with the burst. And I think that's where we kind of come off at the end of that game. Let's check out the overview, update everything. So yeah, well done. Boogan squad pull out the 2-1 victory. Looked kind of hairy at the beginning. Save the Murloc did get a good victory in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines, but after that, Boogan squad just pulls it back, shows what they're made of, and managed to clutch out the victory. And can't wait to see these guys match up again, because I'm almost certain they're both playoff headed teams in the C East division. So we'll have to see. Alrighty, folks, that's going to be replay cast number 1 done. As I said before, I'm going to stop the stream just temporarily, set up the next game, and be right back on so that it's easier for me for the YouTube VODs, because I think still a majority of the people that are going to be watching these is going to be as VODs, because it is the middle of the day. On a Saturday, you're more likely to get people, but there's lots of Heroes of the Storm being played, so it's kind of hard to guarantee views today, which is perfectly fine. It worked out for me to get it done, so that's why I'm doing it. Congratulations on Boogan squad. Well done getting the victory. I'm definitely going to try to see more from you guys this week, and I did watch, or haven't gotten to, but was going to watch the Nexus game versus you guys, Nexus Cats series that I missed, so I'm trying to get caught up on that as well. And Save the Murloc, nice try. You guys had a good showing overall. But, yeah, just some of those end-game decision-makings on both maps really kind of cost the victories. Boogan squad, a good, solid team, manages to clutch out the victory. My pleasure to cast, guys. Thank you for showing up. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button. And if you're feeling extra generous, use your Twitch Prime subs, or donate $5 to the stream, or even just any little bitty you can. It all helps me here and my family and everything like that. So the more I get of that, the better. I'm well on my way to my 15 first stub. So really looking to see if we can clutch that out. But if you can't, just showing up, watching, participating in chat, hitting the follow button does enough for me as it is. So catch me here or on YouTube. LD Ziltoid, YouTube/LD Ziltoid. This is where I'm going to be posting all the VODs of this, but it'll also be compiled in the Nexus Gaming Series YouTube channel. So you can catch my stuff there as well. And like and subscribe to those that channel and those videos as well. So thanks for showing up. I will see you guys shortly.